I ended up telling my manager, the manager for the maintenance department, and I had a conversation, and my supervisor, and I told them, I said, I don't eat lunch and I don't like watching other people eat lunch. And it's not like because it's tempting me, but I feel like it's not producing anything. And I said, I don't want to take a lunch break. I don't care what the union says or the work, I don't care what the law is. I don't care. I really don't care. Because if you're saying we have a 9 hour day, but we're taking 1 hour out for lunch break, then we're basically just working 8 hours anyway. So people who say they work 8 hours, 9 to 5, but then they have a lunch break in between, you're really working 7 hours a day. So I said, I would much rather use my lunch break to carry the workload of the entire maintenance department to get a trash run done, because it usually took 2 hours. We'd collect all the trash, put it in the bed of the truck, carry it, put it onto a dump site, and the dump site was about 30 minutes away from the ranch. So by the time you're done dumping the trash in the truck, driving there, dumping the trash into the dumpster, and then coming back after you pick up mail and everything, a good 2.5 hours were done, right? And that was the maximum amount it should have taken, especially if the trash load was huge. And if you're one person unloading and loading all the trash, it should only take 2.5 hours, because you have to go to the post office. And sometimes lunch break, the only problem with the lunch break thing was you'd have to wait 5-10 minutes so that they could actually open up the post office after their lunch break and then pick up all the mail. And then you didn't just pick it up from the mailbox, you had to pick up big size mail, and you had to interact with the people, be nice to them, because it's about business to business relationship with you're representing the business that you're going to with them. And it's not just that also, but if you want to be known individually, like the post people who worked at the post office got to know me individually, and they really liked me because they didn't just see someone who worked for a business, they saw someone who cared for them. So there is a lot of nuances to all of this, right? So I said I'd start taking the workload on lunch, so I could save us all more time rather than have an empty hour where nothing gets done, and we could be more efficient, and that way we could actually work on the projects we needed to work on as a maintenance department. So I was taking one for the team, and this was not to stroke my own ego or to be the best worker and to be someone that's pleasing people, but this is the way my mind operates. If this were my business and I saw someone like me that didn't eat lunch and wanted to work as hard as I would, then this is what I would direct them to do in a leadership scenario. So I said, okay, but the only way that will happen is if I become that type of person. So I became that type of person. And my supervisor and my manager had no problem with it. They said, just don't make it a big deal. Just stick to doing your own thing. And later on, everybody realized Miraz doesn't sit for breakfast. Miraz doesn't sit for lunch. He'll sit for breakfast as long as he gets his tasks, and then he's gone. And then he won't sit at lunch. So don't expect to sit down with him at lunch and save him a seat for lunch, because it doesn't happen. That is what created a lot of efficiency on a day-to-day basis. And then it compounded on a weekly basis and a monthly basis. So if we, like, Saturdays were our dedicated days for washing vehicles for Sunday transport, and instead of waiting 1 hour to then wash the next vehicle, I would help lessen the workload for us to wash all the vehicles, so that I would wash like a van or two. Now, what would happen was that I lessened the workload because I was washing an extra vehicle by saving that 1 hour of time that everybody else had lunch, and I could get more work done by myself, because my team would help me. They would load up 2 vans in front of the shop, and I'd just have to wash them inside and outside, park them or fuel them up if they had to be fueled up, and then I'd park them, and then I'd put the keys back where they should have been. And that helped us get other things done. So we'd, instead of spending the entire 8 to 5 washing vans, what we would do is work from 8 to 1 or 8 to 2 to wash vans, and then we'd spend the next 3-4 hours till 5 to just focus on the projects that needed to be done, because there was always something that needed to be done. We had a separate whiteboard where everybody could come and write down things that are either broken in the staff housing or the guest housing, the guest cabins. They could say, this is not working, this bulb needs to be changed, this window needs to be replaced, this screen door needs to be replaced, whatnot. So this entire system helped efficiency. And if you step up to be that integral person, and this is not my business, but if it was my business and I had a worker like me, that was, if I was the owner of the business and I chose to spend my lunch breaks working while everybody else ate, I would create a more efficient environment for my workers because they can pick up where I have already helped us increase with that gap of time. So that helped me be more integral with how I spend my time. And integrity is not just about what you do for others, it's also about how you spend your time and how efficient you can be. Because you know how you spend your time, right? You know how you spend your time scrolling, you know how you spend your time scrolling in the bathroom when you could have just been there for 5 minutes and gotten out and carried on with the rest of your day. So honestly, it's just like that. The other part of efficiency was learning that I don't have to work out for an hour in the morning on the ranch. I could just spend half an hour doing my push-ups and then do finish it with 20 pull-ups, and then I could continue doing 10 to 20 pull-ups the rest of the day. So I save time here and there as well. While I'm waiting for a response on the radio or the walkie-talkie, I could go do 10, 20 pull-ups and then I get a response and then I go carry on with my next task. So it was basically just about being more efficient anywhere I could find the opportunity, being more integral with how I spend my time. Because honestly, integrity is based off of you. It's not based off of someone else. Nobody else knows if you're being integral to your goals. Only you know that. That's the truth about integrity. And a lot of people won't share that part of it, right? They'll say, are you an integral person? How can you treat others' things as your own, right? And then you have the karma, or do unto others what you would have done unto yourself. But why is that important? Because it teaches you a valuable lesson of integrity. If you do good, you get good. Why? Because you're doing good based off of the fact that you know you're supposed to do good. That's integrity. And a lot of people will be like, yeah, but why are you going so deep into a perspective? Because as a society is a result of the culture, and this culture is promoting a lack of integrity, a lack of, and what does that entail? A lack of responsibility, a lack of accountability, and a lack of self accountability at it too, and a lack of trustworthiness.